receive lectures in their own language for 2 years, so their transition between from their own language to overcome the language barrier, they are given lectures in their own language. And the books are also provided by the BRAC or the local NGOs for the first 3 years, and the second 2 years, the government provides the book. It's the government national curriculum. And after they graduate from primary school, what do? They sit for an exam, which allows them to move forward to the government schools, secondary school. And this is the basic of informal education and how innovative ways they are doing. I will just give you a few facts, quick facts about the informal education. They have 14,153 primary schools, 389,000 students, of whom 62.17% are girls. 5.3 million students completed courses to date, of which 60.43% are girls. 5.5 million students transferred to formal school to date, of which 60.12% are girls. So this is the basic of informal education for primary schools. And what are the innovative ways they are producing and they are trying to reach these students? The projects that informal schools have to make students interested in their educations are performing and fine arts, total learning experience, social and emotional learning, interactive digital content in primary education, and human mathematics in BRAC schools. These are the innovative ways that they are trying to make the student interested in their education. And there are more projects that is going on for the children to get their education during unfavorable condition, which means in disastrous condition, in natural disasters, how they are still continuing their education. I would like to say that imagine yourself when you are in your house, you are from an underprivileged background, and you are surrounded by water. All over your surroundings is water, and you don't have any communication, and you don't have much to eat. Will you be sending your kids to the school at that time? Same thing happens in Bangladesh in many places, especially in eastern areas, in Sylhet areas. They have wetlands, and they have Howars areas where in monsoon season, 6 to 7 months, it's flooded and it is underwater. Most of the lands are underwater, and their parents, they don't want to send their children to the school because the school probably does not exist that time. So how they are reaching these children for their study? They made a boat into a school, and this boat goes house to house and pick up the student and the teacher in a boat, and they give all the education, all the things that they need for their education is on the boat. So this 6 to 7 months of the year, they are learning in this way. So it's amazing how they are trying to reach these underprivileged children. There's another thing I would like to add. It's a mobile library. They also have a mobile library when they go home to home and they distribute or they exchange books. The children can go and reach the books and they can read. So I would like to say that these are the innovative ways we can we are actually in Bangladesh trying to reach the underprivileged children to make them at least involving in the education. They also have programs for the street children. They also have programs for the dropout children. So, being a third world country, we are trying to reach all the children of our country so that they can have at least minimum number of education. At the same time, they can have some learning skills. And within this project, it's really important that to notice that all the teachers, most of the teachers are women. And these women are from the local community. And they are being empowered. They are being given power so that they can establish themselves, they can earn, they can be independent, and they can make their children independent. Thank you very much.
What session would you need to be in? Because that's not my topic.
Oh, I think it's been merged.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ah.
That's what she
That's what they told me. Ah, okay. All right, so there it is. Mine's almost out of battery, but should be able to get some.
I can send you on my phone as well, but your phone takes better picture.
Try, see how it goes.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me, आप दोनों एक picture लेंगे?
There's no password.
Nibo.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, let's take a picture.
Oh, together. That's nice. Yeah. Get out of here.
Here, up there.
With the
This
sign
one.
is nice, I think.
Yeah.
I need something.
No. Can we have one more? We can stand. Oh yeah, we can stand either side. I enjoyed learning about England. I have heard of BRAC. They're very famous, very,
Yes.
really fantastic NGO. Yeah. People. All right, let's get it done. All right.
I'm not blocking.
Yeah, you also blocking.
Yes, I am
Oh,
blocking.
right. Oh, I want to stand to the side. Okay.
Start? The wait.
Let me just think I'm going to
Yeah.
start.
I'm also whose topic of you asking? Bangladesh.
Oh.
समुद्र के अंदर जो नाव है जो बच्चे पढ़ते हैं कॉलेज वाला क्लासेस नाव जाती है हर बच्चे को स्टडी हैंडल करती है उसके बाद मैंने डॉक्यूमेंट्री भी शूट करी है
Oh, really?
जी न्यूज़ पे होगी आपने देखो वेबसाइट खोल के ना
Okay.
जी न्यूज़ पे डाल रखी होगी
I'm going to just take a few photos.
Okay.
So you start whenever you
All
are.
right. Oh.
You're back. You didn't abandon us.
Time to go. Okay.
Okay, start.
I should start with thank you all for being here. Okay, let me know when your video
Yeah,
is.
start.
Start. Okay, great to be here tonight and to talk on this topic of the importance of becoming globally diversified. And I'm going to connect that to something that we all have in our everyday lives, which is food. And so it's about the importance of becoming globally diversified in our food. But what a lot of people, unless you're really working in that area of food, a lot of people aren't really aware of what's happening behind the scenes in the food system. Because you've all heard of the digital divide or the education divide, where you have a big gap between those who have and those who don't. And those that do have get more opportunities, and then it's a cycle, and they get better and better, and it becomes a bigger gap. Well, there's also a gap in the food system. So there is what I call this food system divide. And it's come about because we've had decades and decades of investment in just a few crops. So whether it be the research and development investment or the private industry investment, the product development, the policy support, even the development aid, it's been decades of a lot of this in just a few crops, what I call the big three, so the wheat, maize and rice. And so what we've created as a result is a food system divide. And then we have a huge variety of other crops that really aren't getting the same support. And so we've really narrowed the diversity of food globally. And just some examples. So FAO brought out a statistic that said that in the 20th century, the diversity of our cultured crops has decreased 75%. I mean, that's huge, 75%. And even the whole globalization of our diets, even though in every country our menus may look different, but if you look what's really in those menus, we've really increased dairy, we've increased sugar, we've increased fat, we've increased high-fat meats as well. So there is this globalization of diets, which has resulted in less diversity. And so there's also another study that shows which crops have actually increased as far as their contribution to the calorie intake. There's a few crops that have significantly increased, and then others that have really, really decreased. So the typical ones that have really increased in how much they contribute to our diet from a calorie point of view is all the oils, wheat and rice. And then some of those more traditional crops have really significantly decreased. And sorghum, cassava and millets are the biggest three that have really significantly decreased from their contribution to our diets. So why this is a problem though is we know there's a critical need to have more diversity in our diets from a health perspective. We've got a lot of health issues around now as a result of our diets. And we know there's a huge value in diversifying on farm. So the issues that have come around sort of monocropping, how that's been environmentally damaging, and this need for diversity on farm, and even also to cope with climate change and other changes that are happening. So then you could say, well, what do we do about this? We know there's a food system divide, we know it's a problem. So what I suggest is, instead of having the big three, let's see if we can create the big five or the big seven. Let's break that food system divide and start to bring more into mainstream. So it's not just about working with some other crops, but it's about how we actually break that system divide and bring more into mainstream, which nobody has achieved. So this is what we really want to achieve, and we think it's really important. Because also, unless we mainstream more, we're not going to make a major difference in the food system. We're not going to really make a major difference on malnutrition and poverty and some of the environmental issues unless we bring some really back into mainstream. So how would we go about this? Well, what we really need to do is choose a few crops and then invest like crazy and bring them into mainstream. But not just any crops. So what we say is we've got to be very careful what we choose, and we've made it a new term which we call smart food. And smart food have got 3 criteria. Now you've probably heard of superfoods, which is the highly nutritious food. Well, smart food goes further than that. So it talks about food that 1 is good for you, so it is super nutritious, but 2, it's also good for the planet, so it's environmentally more sustainable, and 3, it's good for the farmers. How are we doing this in a way to ensure the farmers are really benefiting from this as well? So what we say is we need to select some smart food and actually mainstream them. But the way, now nobody's achieved this, so then we have to think, okay, how are we going to do this? It can't be business as usual. We've got to do something in a different way. And so our approach is we say we're going to do it from a more consumer-driven approach. Because it's going to be very, very hard to break the system that's set up. But we think we can do it if we start with the consumers. And the food that we're going to start with first is millets and sorghum. Now the reason we're starting with them is, first of all, they fit that criteria of smart food. You know, they're super nutritious, they're good for the planet, they survive with less water, they've got a lower carbon footprint and so on. And they're potentially good for the farmer because they're highly resilient. They're really important with climate change in the dry areas. They're like a risk management strategy. They're also got potential to increase yield significantly, and they've got multiple uses that are untapped at the moment. Now, other reasons for also looking at sorghum and millets now is especially across Asia and Africa, they are the traditional crops that were there originally and were part of the core diet. And because they're so resilient, it is going to be more important with climate change. And then we also see the time is right now, because actually in urban areas across Asia and Africa, there is a trend now from the very health conscious people to start to go back to these highly healthy traditional grains. And these urban areas are like the aspirational markets, and they do influence also then what's eaten in the rural areas. So that they set the food trend. So it's important, that's important, and we can capitalise on that niche market that's growing now. And another reason is because these sorghum and millet actually fit some of the global food trends that are happening. So some of the global food trends are superfood, so certainly smart food is a superfood. Ancient grains is another global food trend. They're gluten-free, that's another trend. They're low GI and so on. So it actually fits some of these markets. So we can actually capitalise on that as well and bring in these sorghum millets. And actually they're often hailed as the next quinoa, but they're the sort of the best kept secret around for that. So then the way we want to do it is really having that consumer-driven approach. Start with the early innovators in these urban areas, but then have a whole component around the Smart Food Initiative, which is also about how do we ensure these rural communities benefit? Because that's often a criticism of the quinoa success story, that then do the farmers in South America really benefit from this? So we have another whole component that ensures we connect these rural farmers to the whole value chain, and then they're part of it and they're empowered to be key players in this as well. And so this is a big challenge ahead. Nobody's achieved breaking this food system divide, which has built up over the decades. We also see, you could relate it to how the whole development world talks about food. Because back in the Green Revolution, decades ago, there was a big push for food security. And that's because at the time, there was a desperate need just to be able to have enough food so people, survived. Later it became recognised that we had to add to food security the need for nutrition security. There was the hidden hunger of the malnutrition. So then nutrition security became important. Then more recently the United Nations talk about sustainable diets, so diets that are more sustainable on the environment. Whereas we see that next big movement needs to be about smart food. So smart food defined as good for you, good for the planet, but also good for the farmer. We're adding that extra angle to it as well. And we see this is critical for that next movement of where we need to focus. So we've made a start. We're working in Kenya and India, and we hope to get more countries on board. And this is a real partnership approach. We can only do it if we really build the whole value chain. Because the challenge we have now is that foods like these millets and sorghum now have a negative image. They're seen as old-fashioned or food for the poor people. And because they haven't had the investment, the whole value chain is well developed. So to achieve this, we really need to engage all the stakeholders, from policymakers to food processors, the food service industry, right the way through to on the ground with the farmers. So it's very much a partnership approach, and we're really keen that people come and join the Smart Food Initiative. And this is a global movement, and it's sort of relevant in all the countries really, whether it's a country that grows it or there's the market there for it as well. So that's our story towards global diversification and the need for that.
Complete?
I didn't even look at my notes. I left out bits, but I thought it doesn't matter.
Done?
Done. We're done.
Half of most of it.
Do you want to do a talk?
Oh, no.
Done?
Okay,
Ma'am?
You can.
Done?
Yes.
Done.
Thank
Done.
you.
Thank you.
You
Alright,
sure?
so, no. How you're going to, you don't know our names, how you're going to put
Name
it.
is unclear, but
Oh, are you? What
ये
do you do
live
in
आपको
Zimbabwe
YouTube
then?
में मिल रहा है,
I
YouTube
do
पे
just
live आ
some
रहा है।
But where, how
okay.
you will put on a YouTube?
YouTube.
You don't know my name, how to do it?
Okay.
So,
What sectors do they work in?
you don't know?
Maybe work with startups.
Sorry.
Startups? Oh, so they can be any type of startup. Okay. So agricultural research, we have an
ये
office
नमस्ते,
in Zimbabwe.
ये नमस्ते।
Which organization?
It's called ICRISA,
क्या
International
कह रहे हो भाई,
Research
क्या हुआ
Institute
मालिक?
for Semi-arid tropics. Actually, I should have said my organisation name. I forgot that. Never mind.
भाई पता है क्या हुआ है, मेरे तुम तो ये बोलो कि उधर में आया,
so
मेरे
we've
मेरी
got,
फटके हाथ में आ
our
गई,
office is
पता है?
in not Harare, go further south.
You know, girls,
Uruguay.
let's go.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
go for the dinner.
Yeah.
We have.
Oh yeah,
dinner,
let's do that. Grab something and then
we can.
go and do some work.
Okay. All right, that's interesting.
But you know, when I was in Zimbabwe, I asked a lot of very young people about
भैया पता है एक्चुअली क्या मैं बहुत मुसीबत में फंस गया था, बहुत
Yeah.
ज़्यादा
None of the young people there.
You tell me what is actually millet.
यार बयान चो मैं क्या बताऊँ आपको यार,
I want you to know, I
उस
don't
मेरा
know.
मोनो सारे से कहना मेरी मोनो से भी लड़ाई बहुत होने वाली थी, बच गया ना, बताया बहुत बच गया।
Rabi.
What is butcher? Do you know?
I eat millet as well.
फंक्शन नहीं पता फंक्शन
Oh, you do? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, here, here's some pictures. Now that's a sorghum, that's a joa.
Yeah.
And this
पता है क्या मोनो ने सन्नी का फंक्शन लिखा था, सन्नी का फंक्शन तो लिखा नहीं था,
Sargam is
Okay.
sagu. Is that
और
sagu?
उसको बनाया मेरे पास मोनो ने,
and that's what
हाँ ये सन्नी सन्नी का मैंने मुझे पता नहीं कहाँ पे
You go see him in the ground or you
छः दिन का मैं 6 दिन का पता है, यहाँ पे रामदेव बाबा अभी गया हुआ है आके, अभी गया हुआ आके के चला गया।
nutritious, really good.
आपको पता है आपको 18 वीडियो है, यहाँ पे 18
Also,
वीडियो,
I'm diabetic, so that can cause my
Ah,
हाँ
Yeah.
15 स्टील
So I
है।
kind of went off the other.
Yeah, don't have white.
भाई तो मैं
rice.
बहुत ज़्यादा मोटा था, बहुत करोड़ सिल्वर सिटी आ रही है, अमिताभ बच्चन आ रहा है, क्या बताऊँ मैं
Thank you
आपको।
very much for
Yeah.
this.
पता है आपको अमिताभ बच्चन आ रहा है, सिल्वर सिटी कल पता सिल्वर सिटी आ रही है, पता है आपको
You can be in our group.
यहाँ पे से करोड़ों रुपए का ना, करोड़ों रुपए का ना, करोड़ों रुपए का।
All right, nice to see you guys.
Okay, bye.
चलो मैम बाय।
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
एक मिनट रहे तो इसको बाय।
Thanks. All right, yeah, get something now. Did you see anything? You've got your phone. What's yours?
चलो ले लेते हैं सिस्टम भी।
स्वीट हट